Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Born on May 19, 1925, in Nebraska, Omaha, Malcolm X stated, "Without education, you are not going anywhere." My name is Doreen Nambafu, a public policy master's student at the American University in Cairo.
And my name is Xiang Yi, a graduate student studying at AUC in the MBA program. We would like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to AUC, the professors, the counselors, ambassadors, diplomats, ministers, faculty, staff, students, and all estimated guests.
The Chinese-African Forum is taking place at the time when the American University in Cairo is celebrating 100 years of its dedicated, supportive, and influential leadership. Once again, I welcome you to this forum. Without further ado, I would like to invite the American University in Cairo Chancellor, Professor Ashraf Hatem, the main liaison between the government of Egypt and the American University in Cairo.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, professors, distinguished guests. Welcome to the American University in Cairo. In its 100 years celebration, it is the centennial of the AUC this year. And as part of its centennial celebration, this forum of the Chinese African Forum for Education. 2019 is the year of education in Egypt, as announced by President Sisi of Egypt. 2019 also is the presidency of Egypt to the African Union. In 2018, AUC was elected as a member of the University Alliance Silk Road Universities as part of the Belt and Road initiative of the Chinese president. And for all these things, we have done this very good gathering of very high-profile guests from Chinese, African, and Egyptian distinguished universities. I wish everybody here to have a fruitful meeting. We'll have a half a day today and a full half day tomorrow, and then all of us will go for the Global Education Forum in the new administrative capital in the 4th of April under the auspices of President Sisi. Thank you very much, and I wish you all a pleasant stay in Egypt. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Hatem. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite to the podium Professor Ihab Abdurrahman, the Provost of the American University in Cairo.
Good afternoon, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to be here today as we make concentrated efforts to expand the collaborations between our great nations and institutions. As international academic institutions of higher education, we are all well aware of the challenges we face remaining current in our collective missions to provide high-quality, cutting-edge education, research, and service. Failure to act now and bring our great nations together to confront these challenges and reap the rewards of what an integrated, collaborative partnership amongst us can achieve will be the determinant of each of us. AUC has positioned itself as Egypt's global university. As part of our centennial celebration, and as part of our strategic positioning, we are reclaiming our African identity and integrating the aspiration of AUC with those of Africa, recognizing that African challenges are Egypt challenges. As a fast-growing leading economy, China has sagged its positioning on higher education and science and technology. This forum aims to bring together the best of what we all can offer for the benefits of each of us as institutions, as communities, as countries, and as global society. Through these efforts, I hope in the near future to be able to declare AUC has a strong and fruitful relationship with China and throughout the African continent. I welcome you all again, and I hope that this discussion over the coming days prove fruitful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abdulrahman. At this juncture, I would like to invite the representative of the African delegation, Professor Ayetope Ogunbodede, the Vice Chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. You're all welcome to this gathering. I'm happy to be associated with the American University in Cairo, and I thank the authorities of the university for inviting us to this Chinese African Higher Education Forum. I wish to join others in wholeheartedly congratulating the American University in Cairo on the monumental achievements and giant strides attained in its 100 years of experience. I congratulate the President, Francis Risiadon, the AUC Chancellor, Ashraf Hatem, the Provost, Abdel Rahman, the Chairman, Richard Bartlett, the Board of Trustees, Emeritus Professor Ali Chams, and all staff, students, alumni, and friends of the American University in Cairo. Only very few universities in the world belong to this highly respected group of higher citadels of learning that has attained the age of 100 years. And it is on record that the American University in Cairo has achieved monumental strides over the last 100 years. American University in Cairo is no doubt a leading university globally with more than 170 partner universities worldwide. I will like to seize this opportunity to employ the AUC to continue propagating its core values of excellence, diversity, social responsibility, integrity, and lifelong learning. I wish AUC happy and fruitful celebration. And on behalf of my university, the Obafemi Awolowo University, and our other African universities, I wish to congratulate once again the American University in Cairo and to wish this great institution a happy and fruitful celebration. Please keep the flag flying. Hooray to an accomplished and global university. On behalf, once again, of all the African universities, I say thank you for inviting us to be part of history and to be part of a robust plan for the future, not only of this country, but of Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Ogunbodede. Ladies and gentlemen, now please join me to welcome Mr. Han Bing, the Minister Counselor of Economic and Commercial Affairs, the Embassy of People's Republic of China in Arab Republic of Egypt.
Your Excellency, Professor Khalid Abdel Ghaffal, Minister of Higher Education and Science Research. Your Excellency, the Ambassador Mohammed Talaf, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, so the dear guests and the friends. It's my honor to attend the China-African Higher Education Forum on behalf of His Excellency, the Ambassador Song Ai-guo in Egypt. The China-Africa Higher Education Forum is the very important occasion for the both, not only the countries, but also between China and Africa in the higher education. We had last year the FOCAC summit in China, with also the presidency of His Excellency the President Sisi to attend this forum, and we adopted the 8 major initiatives at the forum for the cooperation between China and Africa in the next 3 years. In this 8 initiative, the capacity building will play a very important role, and the higher education is the keys, the field for the capacity building. So Egypt is now taking the presidency of African Union, and it will play the important role to lead the African also in the cooperation with China. So this content, this forum today and the days after today in these days, I think will give us the very good opportunity to exchange our views and the opinions on the very important the field of the higher education. We have now the many initiatives from the both sides for the higher education cooperation between the universities and between the higher schools. We have many projects also to be implemented so in this content. The President Xi Jinping initiated the One Belt, One Road initiative in 2013. In this initiative, with the 5 areas, the people-to-people exchange is one of these 5 important areas. So the education is also the key the sector in this field. So we will make our effort to enhance our cooperation in the education sector. I wish this forum with the colleagues from Africa and also from China will exchange the experiences, the opinions, and also the ideas for the concrete projects that we can enhance our cooperation in the future. So I would like to thank you again to invite me to attend this forum. Tomorrow I will attend also the panel discussion on the One Belt, One Road, and I hope we will get a lot of the proposals, the suggestions for the future cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Han, for confirming and emphasizing that education is still at the center of development. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite the Ambassador, Mohammad Talat, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs for Cultural Relations.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Dr. Khalid Abdul Ghaffar, Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Honorable Ministers, Mr. Frank Ricciardoni, AUC President, Professor Ihab Abdul Rahman, AUC Provost, Professor Ashraf Hatim, AUC Counselor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I have the honor to be with you here today, representing the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Arab Republic of Egypt, to attend this significant academic event that highlights the announcement of His Excellency President El-Sisi of the year 2019 in Egypt as the Year of Higher Education. This announcement, which was one of the recommendations of the 6th National Youth Congress that took place in Egypt in 2018 and was endorsed by the Egyptian government. Our forum today also rejoices the Egyptian presidency of the African Union for the year 2019 and symbolizes the dedication Egypt is giving through its African presidency to the young generation of our continent and the right for a better future and better education. There is no future without education, actually. I'm a fan of Africa. I served in 1991 in Tanzania till 1995 and back to Kenya in 2014 till 2018. And I visited Nigeria. You are from Nigeria, I think? Uganda. But I thought you were from Nigeria. But I visited Nigeria some time ago in Abuja in also early 90s. This forum was inspired also from the new Silk Road, One Belt, One Road initiative, which will mark its 6th anniversary in September 2019. An initiative which Egypt was among the first countries to join, is altering the dynamics of global cooperation in the field of higher education. Honorable guests, the long-lasting cooperation between Africa and China is a success story that we are celebrating today by being here attending this event. The Forum of China-Africa Cooperation has been achieving tangible results on strengthening friendship and promoting cooperations since its inauguration back in year 2000, and we are hoping for more collaboration in the future. At the last Beijing summit of the Forum on China and Africa Cooperation in 2018, which was attended by His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the Chinese government offered strong support to the African-Chinese higher education relationship and cooperation, a strategic partnership that shall bring prosperity to all our nations. In that regard, the Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs is determined to be at its full disposal in supporting this partnership in all possible domains that would be beneficial to all African people. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to extend my gratitude to the Egyptian Ministry of Higher Education for organizing, together with the American University in Cairo, this event. Actually, I'm very honored because I graduated from the AUC back a couple of years ago. I don't want to say three decades plus, because that will make me look very old, and I'm still very young in my heart. But anyhow, it is 33 years ago. I have to admit it. So this event, which is going to give us the opportunity to explore the different existing opportunities for collaboration between the African countries and China in the field of higher education. And in that respect also, I would like to congratulate us all for celebrating 100 years for the American University in Cairo. I wish you all a fruitful and successful forum, and maybe it will be a step forward into providing our coming generations a better future for all of us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you, Ambassador Mahmoud Talat. And now I would like to invite to the podium His Excellency Khalid Abdul Ghaffar, Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research.
Good afternoon. Mr. Hang Bing, Minister Counselor of Embassy of China, Professor Dr. Ashraf Hatem, Counselor of the AUC, Dr. Ihab Abdurrahman, AUC Provost, His Excellency Ambassador Francis Richard Dooney, President of the AUC, Ambassador Mahmoud Talat, Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs for Cultural Relations, professors, guests, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to congratulate the American University in Cairo for celebrating 100 years in Egypt, century of education, and supporting the government of Egypt in generating qualified and skilled graduates. It is also a good opportunity to make this celebration in coordination with the Chinese universities and African, which is a very good sign for the very strong relationship between Africa and China, and reaffirm our roots to the continent of Africa. We recognize the significant importance of education and its critical role to build skilled human capital and promote sustainable development. Therefore, Egypt is investing nearly 4% of the GDP on education and nearly 1% for science, technology, and innovation. The African Union Agenda 2063 recognizes the essential role of education and training reinforced by science, technology, and innovation for empowering African people to achieving Africans' vision, an integrated, peaceful, and prosperous Africa, the Africa we want. In this context, Egypt is among the 10 head of states championed for education in Africa, promoting the African strategy for education, science, and technology, and implementing a science-led development agenda. It also sets high-level platform for pursuing the achievement of sustainable development goals and to advance the implementation of the African Union agenda. In 2019, Egypt is chairing the African Union with great support to education, science, and technology, and strengthen the coordination of partners to build the African youth capacity for achieving the African Agenda 2063. His Excellency, the President has made this year for education for its value to promoting the socio-economic. And in 2 days from now, the Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research will host and organize a global forum for education that gathers all professionals in education, science, and technology under the patronage of His Excellency, the President of Egypt, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. This is a very good opportunity to engage our diaspora, create linkage with the industry and private sector. This dialogue is quite important to foster cooperation and innovation for the benefit of our country and the continent. I will take this opportunity to invite you all and our partners and friends from China universities and to share knowledge and experience for the mutual benefit between China and Africa. It will be a good opportunity to leverage cooperation between Chinese universities and the African universities as well. Finally, I wish you a very good celebration, high level and good deliberation with very valuable recommendations that strengthen the cooperation in the future with consolidate action plan for real implementation. And I wish you a very pleasant stay in Cairo. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. At this juncture, please join me as we welcome the President of the American University, President Francis Richard Dooney.
Thank you very much, Doreen and Shang. Your Excellency, Minister Khalid Abdel Ghaffar, Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mahmoud Talat, is representing the government and people of Egypt, our host country. Leaders of African and Chinese universities are very distinguished guests with us for these 2 days. Minister Han Bing, Minister Counselor Han Bing of the Embassy of China, my fellow colleagues, the counselor, the provost, members of the faculty, our students who join me in hosting you, welcome. I have 3 points, very short messages I'd like to leave. First is to join all the speakers here in welcoming you and setting the context and meaning of this very important event that we're about these 2 days. Secondly is the core message, and I'll say that right now. We want more Dorines and Xiangyis. We want more Africans and Chinese at AUC. As the minister has suggested, Egypt welcomes more Africans and Chinese and other Asians. I can speak only for AUC. We welcome Africans, we welcome Chinese, we welcome other Asians. And you see why we do, why we're so proud. I envy you. I wish I could speak in your languages the way you speak in English. It's amazing. And why do we do so? Why do we welcome this? We have 100 years of history as serving Egypt and this region and the world as Egypt's global university, a crossroads, a forum for ideas, for people who do research together, who study and learn together, not only for the sake of learning, but to address the problems of the world. We embrace them as opportunities to advance human prosperity and well-being and dignity. And that's what we do in our industry of higher education. So we are a private, American-style, American-accredited, Egyptian-accredited, American-Egyptian university. We are not-for-profit. We depend on the vision and generosity of others, which will lead me to my third point of thanks in just a moment. Also in this context is Egypt's leading role is serving as a crossroads to the world. Its ever-welcoming nature, its security, its looking to tomorrow. In the ministers and President El-Sisi's conference on Thursday, thank you, Minister, for inviting us. We will attend with enthusiasm. The title is Higher Education Between Today and Tomorrow. Egypt not only has a terrific ancient past, as China has, as Africa has, but it looks very much to the future, as our industry does. I congratulate Egypt on assuming the presidency of the African Union, and I can think of no better way of celebrating that than kicking off with a global conference on our industry of higher education. Finally, the note of thanks. I wanted to thank the minister and the government of Egypt for permitting us to host this distinguished group of visitors in the run-up to your conference on Thursday and the President's conference. It's a great honor for us to be able to do this, and a great pleasure as well, a great joy. I mentioned there's another note of thanks we have to do. We at AUC could not perform our mission without a lot of key ingredients. We are both of Egypt and foreign. We are private, not-for-profit. While we get some government grants here and there for specific purposes, we rely on the generosity and vision and commitment of private donors. We rely on the commitment of our faculty and staff, the enthusiasm and dedication of our students, but the commitment of our trustees and other donors. I don't know how many of our visitors may have noticed as you came through our campus, we have a number of buildings that are named. This building we're in probably gets the most use of all. And it bears a name that is very dear and special to us of Mu'taz Al-Alfi Hall. And the reason for that is one of our most visionary and committed donors over the years and supporters, a trustee who has given of his time, as well as substantial means, is Mu'taz Al-Alfi himself. I will introduce him in a moment. I want to say one more special thing about Mu'taz Al-Alfi. He has been not only a supporter of AUC over the years, but of Egypt, and he comes from a family that has supported Egypt in the field of education and human development over decades. This is a model. Many of us who have been in public service think of public service as government work, and it is. And many of us think of it as work in the not-for-profit sector as educators, and it certainly is. But public service also comes from private citizens who are business people and workers and people who think beyond themselves and give of themselves to great public purposes. And in our case, of course, that's higher education. The Mu'taz Al-Alfi Foundation has not only supported AUC, but has supported Egypt in so many ways, in so many educational ventures, always visionary, always selfless, always looking to the future. So I would like to introduce Mr. Mu'taz Al-Alfi, a man I'm privileged to call a friend from my previous service in Egypt, a man who has built the country, helped build it economically as a business leader, a man with interests throughout Africa, in particular, as well as Asia. I want to thank you for supporting our outreach to people like Doreen and Shang. That is, by providing 100 scholarships, new scholarships, 50 for Africans and 50 for Egyptians. Thank you, Mu'taz. This will help bring people to Egypt, which is what we're all about here, that will meet Egyptian counterparts in their youth, form lifelong friendships, research partnerships, and passionate dedication to developing the future. Mu'taz, thank you so much. May I ask you to say a few words and to inspire others? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Frank, for your kind words. And I was not prepared to say anything, but I'm ready to say something. His Excellency, Dr. Abdel Ghaffar, Minister of Higher Education and Research, and all the colleagues who are existing in this hall, I couldn't mention each one by name, but our family history in building schools was 1904. First high school built in Sharqiya province from our family. And after that, in the 50s and 60s, our parents built schools. And the first money I saved in my life, I started building a school, but I couldn't finish it in 1 year, so I started accumulating more money to build the school. And it is a great high school in Sharqiya. After that, I joined AUC as a board trustee 22 years ago. And I was the head of the fundraising committee with my friend Paul Cordery from America. And in 7 years, we were going to build this campus. It was not exist. It was just a desert. So in 7 years, we raised $140 million to start building this campus. And all the details are a lot of details that I couldn't mention in this short word. What Frank said is that Egypt, President Sisi being the chair of the African Union, I decided to give 100 scholarships to 50 Egyptians and 50 from Africa. And from Uganda, I met Mrs. Musivi in Uganda, and I told her, I'll give you 5 scholarships, but no names came. So maybe you are one of them. Yeah, probably. So I'm really committed to Africa, being Egyptian and African. So I'm committed to any development in Africa. I have one word on China. I see Chinese doing business in Africa, but I didn't see a lot of scholarships from Africans into China. We need to see more scholarships in China from Africa. Yeah, please. Thank you very much for everything. Thank you.
So thank you, President Ricciardoni, and thank you, Mr. Mu'taz Al-Alfi. We do hope that in the future, more and more students will get benefit from this new scholarship. Ladies and gentlemen, now it is my pleasure to present to you a film clip presented by AUC. We prepared for this Chinese African Higher Education Forum. Please look at the screens on either side of the podium. What I find unique about AUC is that it is a fusion of both international culture and Egyptian traditional culture.
I chose AUC because of the liberal arts education system that it offers. I used to study pre-med before, and I came here because it allows me the opportunity to study what I love and change my major.
I chose AUC because it's an institution in the Middle East that allows for students to grow, and it counts a lot on its students' capabilities, and it believes in them.
What I find unique about AUC is the library, because they have a vast majority of collections. I could drown in them. Like, they have so many books. I haven't even started all of them yet. I would recommend AUC to others because of the way the school emphasizes on extracurricular activities. Like, there's so many student clubs here.
I've attended hundreds of activities and seminars and lectures, so it's really a culture center in the MENA region.
What I find unique about AUC is the variety of academics that it offers and the opportunity for you to grow in different areas.
What I like really much about the campus is the garden, because it's just so peaceful when you sit on it, like, especially in the summer. It's really nice.
I've attended a lot of lectures and seminars, and I can meet with people from Egypt and from all the other countries. So it's really an amazing experience.
My experience outside of the classroom gave me exposure to different activities and to meet different people from all over the world, and that's really nice. It allows you to grow.
It's not only about what you study in the classroom, but it's also about your future. And AUC is helping you build your future right here on campus.
It's the place where you can grow and develop and also learn a lot about yourselves.
If you're really interested to know anything about Egypt, so AUC is your best choice.
I would very much want to add on what my colleagues have said about the American University in Cairo, but they've said it all. This is the place that I feel and I think could give opportunities for us Africans and the rest of the world to grow, career-wise, professionally, and morally. So at this point, I would like to invite the Associate Provost for Research, Innovation, and Creativity, Dr. Ala Idris.
Good evening and welcome to all. I'm not going to repeat going by each name. It's a very special day here for us at AUC, not only because we are hosting a very important networking platform and a very important bringing together of university heads from China and Africa and looking for discussions and dialogues that we are very optimistic that are going to produce like a roadmap for the future and ways to cooperate, ways to land on joint projects and joint activities. But it's also a special day because we are going to all of us witness the birth of a cooperation platform. This is what we call CURI, Coalition of University Research Excellence in Egypt. About a year ago, we started through our the Provost's office to look into ways and means to build cooperation between universities that are focused on research, that are actively implementing projects that has the nature of combining science and technology. And to look for not only sharing output and sharing results after the research has been done, but also to share resources, intellectual capabilities that could be integrated, research resources that are pretty much scarce in most of our universities, and no matter how big or small the university is, they still need more resources, and the only way to overcome this is to put our resources together, to share it, and to put it on one platform and start to look into how to use it in a simple fashion that would allow researchers to move freely from one university to another, using an equipment here, using a facility here, and so on. So we worked with 3 sister universities, the Egypt Japanese University of Science and Technology, the Nile University, and the Zuwail City for Science and Technology. Along with AUC, we've worked through not only the administration and the management, but we also worked through faculty. So we brought faculty together, we let them discuss what are the flourishing areas of research, set priorities, and set targets and goals for them to work together, and they have done that. They have identified where do you want to go with this. So we're starting today by signing the Memorandum of Understanding that sets the scene for signing 2 other agreements. That's one of them for using the resources and the other for launching joint projects together. So if you allow me to call on the academic leadership of the 4 universities to come to the stage and sign the MOU. Thank you. The universities signing the agreement now are Nile University, the Egypt-Japan University of Science and Technology, and the Zuwail City for Science and Technology, in addition to the American University in Cairo. I would also want to seize this opportunity to thank the ministry for supporting this coalition. This is just a pilot, and we hope that this will be repeated among many other universities, and this coalition could grow in size and be more comprehensive. I also hope that this will combine with other efforts in Africa and in China as well.
عندك الأربعة خلصانين اللي معاك خلصانين الأربعة فريال
يس بس دول بس لما لهم اوكي يعني يقفلوا بقى البتاع ويديله عشان نتصور
لما تمضاش ما تمضاش
خلاص
Thank you.
So congratulations to these 4 universities. Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, also, I would like to recognize and thank our kind sponsors who are here with us today. Platinum sponsor Chint and Golden sponsor EG Bank. Your generosity has helped to shape this important event today. Thank you for your continued support.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this afternoon. President Rishadoni, Your Excellency, Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, our Chinese and African delegation guests, Egyptian University presidents, please join us for a group photo in the garden. Our esteemed guests, please enjoy the lunch served in the terrace. The ushers will direct you there. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.